Hello everyone, welcome back. So today we're going to be playing Yuumi, and we'll be facing off against the Aurelion Sol adventure from the Legends of Arcane campaign. Since we're redoing old content, I might as well just play through this adventure. It is one of the most fun adventures in terms of proportion to the how hard it is. And I figured I should use Yuumi, since I haven't really played enough with this setup. We're going full build because obviously we want more keywords. Same reason behind the Royal Nibbles and the Gale Force. But the additional reason for the Royal Nibbles is this. We start with 2 Poros. So that way we can play Yuumi for 1. Thanks to the Royal Nibbles, and then we play something alongside Yuumi. Yeah, and then we win. Hopefully. Lighted Blessing. The first time it's run the target and ally with a single target spell. We don't really target allies with single target spells. So many friends, 1. Summon at 2 random 1 cost Poros. So we'll start the game with 4 Poros instead of just 1. Or instead of just 2. Does that matter? I'm going to take it. It's even more targets to target with our attachment units. So now we have a reason to keep Yuumi alongside, for example, the scroll. Except we don't get the scroll. We get the rainbow fish instead. Let's give Yuumi to the Protoporo. Now let's do the Nimble Poro. It has 1 more attack, so it becomes easier to remove the Djinn from the board. And it also has quick attack. That also helps. Then we'll do the rainbow fish there. Can do this. And then we'll do this. Get rid of the Djinn right away. And the opponent has no mana, so we're safe on that front. We don't have to worry about the blade's edges.
Death is inevitable. I will make it beautiful.
That's a bit annoying. Alright. Spell shield prevents that from happening. So the opponent can't do anything. And now I just kill them. Because I can just attack with the Poro. He's going to get a blade's edge, but it doesn't matter. He doesn't even play the blade's edge. Let's do the crystal Ebex here, just for the sake of being able to get rid of the Djinn. And we'll attack with everything. Okay, so we don't kill the opponent, but we're getting close to it. What are the odds the opponent has a way to come back to this game? I don't think he can. That helps a little bit, I suppose. He will be able to... Okay, that's a bit more problematic. Okay. At the very least, you won't be able to pull anything with that unit.
I will make this right.
Oh, I didn't expect that. I figured he would pull a larger unit, like the Crystal Debax. I don't know why he didn't want that Poro specifically to be alive, but fine by me, I suppose. Now what? It would be interesting to get a blue buff actually does nothing with on the Rainbow Fish, unfortunately. The units that are attached to something else don't get benefits from their items that are not keywords. It would be beneficial to get something that I can play alongside the Yuumi. Lulu can be that. The Young Witch is pretty bad, honestly. Regeneration twice on it doesn't really do anything. But the Lulu with double attack and the bonded bucklers is incredible. Yeah, sure, let's pick up the Lulu. Sejuani or Lux? Let's go for the Lux. That way we have access to either a shop or a healer, depending on what I want to do next. I'll probably just go for the healer and cut a card. Lulu, yeah, I'll keep the Lulu. Then I can go... I'll keep the Emperor's Prosperity as well. Hopefully we get a Yuumi here. There she is. Looks scary because of the barrier. Fortunately, the opponent played something else that we can target with our attack. Two things, in fact. Let's do this. Do this as well, I suppose. And since we have two Poros with barrier, I might as well do this. Maximize our damage a little bit. Now the opponent's already at 10. All I have to do is survive this turn and we'll be fine.
Confine and contain. You don't know what you're doing.
Let's dig to our through our deck and remove one of the opponent's options. Let's do this. Ensure that we have a proper blocker for the Lux.
You don't know what you're doing. A beacon in battle.
Doesn't even bother attacking with the other units. Perfect. Now not only we have secured the victory, but we also ensure that Lux dies whenever we attack here.
Let's find a new best friend.
Okay, the Lulu with double attack was definitely a high roll. The fact that we can play it alongside the Yuumi is definitely going to be the key to victory. Still going to be a problem against Aurelion Sol though. Aurelion Sol is very large. Kinku Feyblade, Lifeblade or Tasty Feyfolk. Let's pick up the Tasty Feyfolk. And let's go for the healer. I'm going to cut the Young Witch, obviously. Then we have Fiora. Fiora might be a bit of a problem if she gets access to her removal right away. I suppose I'll keep the Minimorph, just in case I run out of other viable options against Fiora. I can even go for the Minimorph here at the start. What? The opponent doesn't start with Fiora, really? I thought for sure he would start with Fiora. Well, that just secures my win then. Without the opponent starting with Fiora, I can just safely drop down Lulu and Yuumi right at the start, and the next turn when the opponent goes for the Fiora, I just go and immediately Minimorph her. And then the opponent cries, because he has no other options. Yeah, that's fine. She'll probably pull the Lulu here, yep. I'm going to let him, just so I can guaranteed kill the mini-T. Oh, the opponent really didn't play. Actually, he couldn't have done anything different. It was just this encounter was extremely favorable for me. Loping Telescope, Zephyr Sage, Wuju Style. Nah, let's reroll. We have a bunch of rerolls. Hearty Rations on the Quick Quill, definitely picking that up. The more Quick Quills, the better. Fayade. Nope. Still Tempest, nope. I guess we're moving on from that. Healer or Shop? Do I care about cutting a card here? Maybe cut the Tasty Fey Folk? Or the Face Sprout? Nah. I mean, our deck is extremely lean, so might as well go for the Shop. Try to pick up a decent power. Stronger together is very good. Extremely synergistic. And while it would be tempting to pick up the Arcane Knowledge for the Protoporo just in case we summon it off of our power at the start of the game, I don't think it's worth it to dilute our deck that much, even if it's just a single copy of it. Mostly because we skipped the first healer encounter. Actually no, it was the second because I found one along the way, but still it's not worth it. I might just drop down the Tasty Folk here. Never mind, we got the Lulu. Our units have enough keywords to the point where we just immediately start summoning or buffing all of our units right at the start of the game, which is kind of funny. Let's get rid of the Poppy right away. Perfect. Lulu is definitely pulling her weight here. Lulu's Whimsy, transform a follower. Can't really transform a follower, so I suppose I'll just develop an okay blocker for the opponent's attacker, in case he decides to attack. And then let's dig through our deck and remove the opponent's options. If the opponent has Poppy's champion spell, it's going to be a bit annoying for me because it will get rid of the Yuumi, so I have to attack right away in order to give the Lulu the spell shield, in order to protect her from that. He has 1 mana, I don't need to think this hard. I'll just do this and secure our victory this way. Perfect. I was thinking way too hard there for a second. I was thinking about whether or not I should go for the attack or I needed to play out my attached units to increase my chances of winning, but the opponent had no mana, so it was pretty simple. Immortal in Yuumi. It's an additional keyword. The spell shield is tempting, but Yuumi already has spell shield after level up, so we don't really need it. Yeah, let's reroll here. Outrage. If you dealt damage to the enemy next to this round, grant your allies impact. That's cool. Really make sure we deal a bunch of damage to the opponent's nexus. We can go for a healer. Let's go for the healer. I'm thinking of getting rid of the Tasty Folk. Unfortunately, I am not losing health at all. so the lifesteal unit doesn't really have a place in our deck. For once we don't draw Lulu alongside Yuumi. I guess it's time for the tasty Fey Folk.
Emperor, you taught me to command the sands.
I bestow the desert's power to
Honestly, because we're just going to lifesteal up with the tasty Fey Folk, I'm fine just taking that damage. Let's pull here. Nice. Let's use our auto with barrier to pull the Azir. Next turn I'm going to need to create a blocker for that Azir. I have to play the quick quill then.
remember this day. It is time.
Or maybe not. If the opponent's just going to attack like that, I can just block with the tasty Fey Folk and completely heal up any damage the opponent deals. Let's do this. Next turn I'll do the quick quill on the Azir. Can attack with the tasty Fey Folk like this first, because it's out of range of the Azir thanks to the level up from the Yuumi and the Tough. That's fine. Let's just drop down the quick quill here. We'll give this unit elusive. And then we attack like so. And we have now secured the board. Actually no, the board was already secured. We just got rid of the Azir. The opponent's really lasting a long time. It's because we don't have a double attack unit. That also has Scout to deal with the... or to deal a bunch of damage to the opponent's Nexus. But we still close out the game in a pretty simple fashion. Turns out the tasty Fey Folk did put in a little bit of work. But I'm still going to cut it from the deck though. All of these are pretty bad. Let's discard or let's reroll. Frost Spikes, it doesn't work, but I guess it's more copies of the Rainbow Fish. Let's cut the tasty Fey Folk. Teemo. Teemo's going to be a problem, especially if it's one of those encounters where Teemo is extremely buff. Toss those back just in case I don't draw Lulu to play alongside Yuumi. I can play one of these instead. You don't draw Lulu apparently. I'm going to need to deal with that thing. Can do this. I'll pull that right after with the affectionate Poro. I suppose I'll allow myself to play the quick quill there, just so I can potentially kill or deal damage to the lecturing Yordle. Next turn I can just Rainbow Fish to develop a blocker for Teemo, or I can just Mini-Morph. That's also an option. Well, in that case, I don't need to play like I wanted. I can just do this. Draw one, develop a blocker. Just need to ensure that I have 4 mana to spare to transform the Teemo.
Grow free.
Just like this. Even without the Lulu, we can still deal with the opponent's ward nicely. I could use the pranks to scout out the opponent's hand, but I don't really feel like it.
A new best friend.
I can just play my units instead. Ooh, that could have been a problem. Fortunately, the Daring Poro had spell shield thanks to Yuumi. We almost lost our
Nothing like the great
unit there.
My foot, things ain't like they used to be.
Well, at least now the Teemo is significantly smaller. You know what? Sure, let's attack with everything. Might as well. Even if you lose one unit, we still deal a billion damage to the opponent's Nexus. Next turn I'm going to have to use this Daring Poro to block the Teemo. Or I can just use this Daring Poro actually, because it just got buffed out of range.
And we yordles and unicorns.
Unless the opponent pulls with the Shump Wump, he might do that if he wants to get the attack with the Teemo through. We're getting a lot of buff cap shuffled into our deck. If we get unlucky, we might die here. Okay, we didn't get unlucky. We're fine. And that means we win.
Vandal Scout Rule 73. Never play with your food. Vandal Scout
Just ensure that the opponent dies by attacking with everything. Just the impact alone would be enough to kill the opponent there. Mountain Goat, Minion, Prowling Cutthroat. Well, let's pick up the Mountain Goat. It makes it a bit more awkward to play it, thanks to the Quick Strike played, but it's decent enough. Chilling Prophecy, it's not really that great. Let's just pick up the Quick Quill and move on. Shop or Champion Item Chest. Let's save our last reroll. And then we'll go for the shop. We can relatively... Or we can trigger the Trinamir's power in a relatively safe manner. So we don't really need to worry about that. Ooh, it's 2 Yuumis. There's a high chance we draw Lulu here. Yeah. Well, that's game over for the opponent. Unless he
I learned my scars.
very denices us.
I'm ready to play, bop,
He
and
probably won't very denice us. Or not very denice, it's the entomb, that's it. If he entombs us.
my first soul.
The opponent's unit dies. Nice.
They won't like this.
Let's do this. Really ensure the opponent takes a billion damage. The opponent's health totals are now getting to a very high amount. But considering the amount of damage we can dish out, I think it's fair. There it is. The Aurelion is gone. So there goes our level up progress. I can do Fuzzy Caretaker Yuumi.
We're off on a new
It's
adventure.
pretty decent, I suppose. We do have our progress on Yuumi's level up reset though. That's unfortunate. I'll do Yordle Squire quick will just so I can safely attack into the Tryndamere without risking losing one of our units. And I'll use the Fey Sprout just to dig through our deck. Maybe we can find a Minimorph. We'll desperately need it if we want to deal with the Tryndamere. Especially if the Tryndamere he uses the Tryndamere's champion spell on Tryndamere. Fortunately it didn't, and it's now out of range. Can still dissuade the opponent from attacking by doing this though. He's getting rid of our Yuumi again. Guess we have to win through other means. These levels up the Tryndamere.
Nosy dewdrop. Get him, Pix. Nosy
Can choose to
dewdrop.
take 24 or not. Let's not take 24. At the very least this makes it easier to kill the opponent next turn, I think. He's at very nice mana though.
Let's use all the colors. No backing down.
We have enough damage to kill him. The question is, can we actually kill him though?
It's gotta be way strong.
Well, let's see.
Beautify. Go on, Pix. Just like the Elefloop said.
Blue levels up, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. We're a bit off in terms of damage. And now Tryndamere levels up. Can we somehow find a way to deal damage to the opponent's Nexus? Maybe he doesn't block the Mountain Goat. He obviously blocks the Mountain Goat. We can do Rainbow Fish raw for 1 damage. Let's see if he blocks the second Mountain Goat. Of course he does, why wouldn't he? Well, we gave it our best shot. But we're going to die because we have no blocker for a 50 attack unit. Can kind of give barrier to some of our units. Try to protect them from the damage. But we simply can't deal with the fact that the opponent can just pull our largest unit and prevent us from blocking this.
Find your own mischief.
Oh, we survive with 1 health. Maybe it's not over. It all depends on whether the opponent has Ice Shard for the next turn or not. There is the Minimorph. It's a bit late now. Let's see if the opponent has Ice Shard. If the opponent has Ice Shard, I die. He doesn't have Ice Shard? Okay, he's just healing. So we're safe. Oh, we almost died there. Can I afford to not heal myself? I'm pretty sure we don't have that much regeneration on Yuumi. I might just let myself die. We have the revive. The paper 3, when an ally attacks with an attachment, granted that attachment, +1/+0, or cheaper crystal D-backs. Yeah, let's pick up the cheaper crystal D-backs. None of these are that appealing. Never dull, I guess. And then we have the healer. I can purchase healing. I can cut a card. We have 35 cards in our deck, so we're reaching the point where we're stopping with the consistency. I kind of want to get rid of the stone stackers. It's just not doing enough. At the same time, we'll go into the next encounter with only 5 health. I can't afford that. We need to heal up. Depending on the next reward, I might choose to, instead of going for the epic shop, go for the healer. We're offered here right after the next encounter. I'll keep the mini morph. We'll probably need it against the Lee Sin. In fact, we can probably bait Lee Sin into attacking and using all of his spells, and then we transform the Lee Sin with the mini morph, and the opponent just cries because of that. Also, I'm pretty sure this opponent doesn't have good ways to get rid of the Yuumi. He can stall auto attacks though. Well, I guess that's that. I don't want to attack with anything else, don't want to risk it. Let's let the opponent attack like so. He gets 2 free resonating strikes. Instead of transforming it, because the opponent will have the opportunity to use the resonating strikes to buff up the Lee Sin enough, I think this is preferable. We'll still deal a bit of damage to the opponent's Lee Sin, and we set up so that it dies on our next attack. This is fine. Let's attack, get rid of the Lee Sin. Nice. Let's go ahead and give the Butterfly the elusive keyword. Guess we can do Face Sprout, just for the sake of getting something else and drawing a card. And then we attack with our entire board. Or not. Let's attack like so. Well, now Lulu is going to be a pain to remove because of the constant spell shields. He does heal up a bit here, but I still think this was worth it, because we dealt more damage than the opponent healed.
A child's anger has become a man's will.
Let's go ahead and do this. Protect one of our units. He doesn't attack really. I guess whichever unit he attacked with would just die, even if he used the buffs he gets. And they probably wouldn't even be large enough to deal with our own units. So yeah, the opponent was correct in not attacking there, but he had no options to win after that. Spirit, Fated, Barrier. I'll pick up the Spirit. Units already get Barrier when I play Yuumi on them, so Might as well make them a bit larger. Suitable host. It's another buff. We have 385. An epic power is very tempting though. But it's against Victor. I don't want to deal with Victor. Let's just go for the healer encounter, cut a card from our deck. Let's get the stone stackers. And then we'll move on from there. Ulu Yuumi. We have everything we need to win. We're discarding the Crystal Ibex. It's fine. Kaisi is very large. I don't think the opponent has removal though.
Gotta hit them hard.
Supercharges the Kaisa though.
Where'd we end up this time, book?
Well, Ulu is large enough to just kill the Kaisa by default though. So the opponent
Whoa, dizzy.
is in a bad position. Let's use the Darken Lodestone.
Faster.
This makes it so Lulu levels up a bit faster too. Though Lulu's level up hasn't been relevant at all. The opponent has nothing, so we just win next turn. That's a problem. Fortunately, it's not large enough to kill the Lulu, but it still gets killed by the Protoporo. Let's do this. Next turn I kill that thing with Lulu.
Whoa, dizzy.
And then we'll level up Lulu as well. But this Kaisa is very sad of an encounter. Once we remove Kaisa, the opponent just kind of kills over and dies.
Where you going, Pix? What are you doing? Ooh, Outflower. Nice.
Just like that. The last two encounters might be a challenge, depending. If I get Irelia, I might actually be in a bit of trouble. So let's hope I don't get Irelia here. Herald of Spring. I'm going to take it. Just because it's a support unit. Got the Stone Stackers. Anivia and Ornn.
On my way.
Anivia is problematic as well. Especially if she has removal or frostbites to prevent us from killing her at the start with the Lulu Yuumi attack. I'll keep the Minimorph just in case I don't get Lulu Yuumi here. Okay, I don't get Lulu Yuumi. In that case, I'm going to need to use the Minimorph to get rid of the Anivia next turn.
Is our time.
Let's do Yuumi here.
Where'd we end up this time, book?
And immediate frostbites.
Storm.
Should have figured. Let's do this. Let's do the Darkin Fan. I'll save up some spell mana for the next turn. Let's attack with the Yuumi just to go ahead and force the level up in a way.
I will endure.
You have a little bit of life still in the Darkin Fan, So we should be able to keep ourselves relatively healthy. And immediate parry denies. That gets rid of my Yuumi. The opponent attacks with Anivia. Anivia will deal 4, right? Because of the deadly, yep. She deals 4. This goes to 1. I can still kill the opponent, Anivia. And I think that's... So yeah, let's transform that. Get rid of one of the Anivias. I'm going to take a bunch of damage here, aren't I? No matter what. The mountain goats will just go to their death. I suppose I'll do quick will here. It gives me an option next turn to attack with the Fly. This is interesting. The Herald of Spring to get some lifesteal going. And Infinite Mind Splitter. Well, now there go my attacks. I guess I can make it so we soften up the opponent's units a little bit. So that way we have options for the next turn. This thing will be stunned, but I'll have a full board of units. I'll throw the Mountain Goat in. Just to have the gem to give something barrier next turn. There's a Yuumi. Maybe things are not over yet. Let's hope the opponent doesn't have the 5-mana obliterate. Let's give it to the elusive unit. Makes it so blocking the scatter pods is easier. We'll give that there. Do that there. No attacks, really? Well, for starters, let's get rid of the... I can't get rid of the Infinite Mind Splitter though. The Poro has Spell Shield, so it will actually be safe from one piece of removal from the opponent. That's one. I need to find a way to get rid of the Infinite Mind Splitter to have access to the lifesteal. I might just do this to force the opponent to block with his units. Let's also prank him. Hopefully make it so some cards are unplayable. Okay, he really wants to keep the Infinite Mind Splitter on the board. I guess he sees denying one of my units is more important. Our Yuumi is now vulnerable. There's a Lulu. It's not a piece of removal I need to be concerned about. I'm actually going to do this. It gives that unit barrier and it allows me to play the Lulu. Crap, that's a problem. It attacks with both. Block here. And I suppose I'll throw that in. Next turn I'm attacking with Lulu Yuumi. And I also have the opportunity to attack with the Herald of Spring for the lifesteal. Let's do this right away. We end up wasting the barrier, but I think it's more important to do this.
Whoa, dizzy.
We did reset the level up progress on Yuumi.
Let's use all the colors.
That's a bit of a problem, but it's fine. We'll just do this. Let's let the opponent block however he wants. I'm going all in. If the opponent has frostbite effects, I'm screwed.
I protect this place.
That's not a frostbite effect. That's just healing. Perfect. So we're going into the next encounter with a full health total. I guess with Yuumi giving whichever unit she's on deathless, I never truly lose a unit that has Yuumi on it. I forgot about that part. Well, anyway. Cheaper Yuumi, Golden Spatula, Swole Swirl. We don't need more Yuumis, and we especially don't need cheaper Yuumis, because we're already playing Yuumi for basically free every time we do play her. Well, this encounter is going to be significantly easier. At the very least, the opponent won't have access to obliterate effects to get rid of the Yuumi and our other attached units. Let's drop down the unit on the Yuumi on the unit with quick attack. Get rid of one thing right away. Like so. If he wants to buff up one of his units, it's fine. Let's do Rainbow Fish. There. We'll do the Darkin Ballista there. And then we attack with everything again. And the opponent cries because he no longer has a board. Or he decides to play around with his health and keep the favored artisan so he has a target for all the spells he's getting. That's also an option, I suppose. Let's let the opponent do whatever he wants. He's going to attack there with the Rock Colossus. Fine. I'll mini-morph that. Get a nice safe trade there. And set up so that Yuumi can level up next turn. Once I get an attack on the favored artisan. Completely clearing the opponent's board. Now he has to play something. He might play the Ornn here, even though it's unoptimal if he has no other options. No. Really? He's really passing. There it is. Now he's playing stuff. Not like it matters, because now I've already gotten so much value off of my units, and I've gotten so many attacks off that even if he tries to win back the board by doing this, it's no longer relevant. And 2 gems here. Let's give 2 of our units barrier. He hasn't even leveled up Ornn yet. And in fact I can deny the Ornn level up, because I can just give barrier to 2 units that have 9 or 8 plus attack. So you can't even level up Ornn properly. And without leveling up Ornn properly, the opponent is not a threat at all. Let's do Elixir of Skill on the Minimorph. Getting more copies of it should prove useful. Although Aurelion Sol has spell shield, so I won't be able to minimorph it. But I might be able to minimorph some of the other units he gets. Like Volibear. I remember getting eye roll because the opponent's Aurelion Sol got a Volibear. And the Trinimir, I think. No Lulu. That's a bit unfortunate. Let's do this here.
I'm ready to play, bop, and knock over some cups.
No attacks, really.
Come hither, you beasts of glory!
I can kind of deal with the Aurelion Sol spell shield by using the Prowling Projectile. He wasted the spell shield there. I guess I don't really need to deal with the spell shield right away. Let's just do this. Sort of soften up the opponent's... Or not. I was about to say soften up the opponent's Aurelion Sol, but the opponent doesn't want to commit the Aurelion Sol into blocking. I think that might be okay. Even if he does level up Aurelion Sol. Unless he has removal in hand already. Or he gets removal from Aurelion Sol here. That might be a problem. The Great Beyond. Well, I guess I have to prepare myself to take the 12. At least I can block Aurelion Sol with the Protoporo. Seriously? Right off the bat, the two units that have elusive, and then the opponent just straight up gets the one spell that gets a clean kill on one of my units and removes the Yuumi. Well, I think this is game over already. Like, no matter what I do from this point onwards, I just die because I have no Yuumi. The opponent just has completely exhausted my resources. And now I have to deal with the constant threat of the champions coming in. Maybe I can get the opponent to blunder by blocking with the Aurelion Sol here. No. Of course he doesn't blunder his Aurelion Sol. Well, it was worth the shot, I guess. Well, now he has all of the Aurelion Sols in hand. That's the Aatrox gone. But it's not really that relevant, because the opponent's just getting a champion every turn. And now he goes for the Sky's Descent because he has Aurelion Sol in hand. My board is wiped. And I cry. Save me, Mountain Goat. Of course it's not enough. I could minimorph that. Kill the Aurelion Sol. But in the grand scheme of things it wouldn't really matter. Like, yeah, I get rid of the Aurelion Sol, then I have to deal with the rest of the opponent's board. I guess maybe I should aggressively mulligan for Lulu instead of the Minimorph, because Lulu deals with the Aurelion Sol is a lot better than Minimorph, because Minimorph I can't just target the Aurelion Sol because of the spell shield. I have to target him with something else first. I guess that's the plan. We just try to get Lulu in our opening hand. I'll keep the two Yuumis just to increase our shot of drawing a Lulu here with the hero's welcome. There she is. Now watch as the Aurelion Sol somehow has a piece of removal for Lulu.
Constellations are stories in the
Okay, it
sky.
doesn't.
We're off on a new adventure.
We'll just deal 10 twice.
Something approaches. They won't like this.
And definitely need to get rid of the Aurelion Sol now. The opponent has played too many it's not manifest, it's invoke. Too many invoke cards to be safe. Let's do it like so. Try to maximize the value from the support effects while also clearing the 2 units on the board.
Where you going, Pix?
This also levels up the Lulu, which does give me a way to get rid of the spell shield from the opponent's units thanks to the spell she creates. Oh dear, scary, but not extremely so. There goes my Lulu. But and my Yuumi, but at the very least that's the opponent's entire turn doing that. And we have backup Yuumis. Let's do that there.
I'm ready to play.
Suppose.
Knock over some cups.
Does the opponent attack with the Udyr? Yes, he does. Interesting decision. I suppose it makes it so we can play the stance swap for free. But I don't know if that's really that useful. That's an Acarium. I'd really like my Yuumi to level up here. So let's do this. Infinite Mind Splitter. That's fine, I can deal with that right away. Let's give our units some extra stats. So that they trade favorably into the opponent's units. Then we attack with everything. And the opponent has to block here, right? Yeah, I figured as much. Just too risky to let me have the board. I'll save the weapon for the next turn to give something barrier. It's going up to 8 mana next turn. That's a very large Nautilus. Ooh. Card draw is nice. The stance swap is going to be a problem. Let's see if I find an answer to the Nautilus here. I don't find an answer to the Nautilus. Guess I can do this. Just try to create something that sort of mitigates the damage I take there. Let's throw the mountain goats to generate some gems. So that next turn I can attack with all of my units right away. Yeah, I need to kill the opponent this turn. I won't get a turn after this one. I can either play it safe, or I can just try to go for the kill. If the opponent blocks the Crystal D-Backs, it takes 21. No, it doesn't take enough. So I have to do it like so. Otherwise I have no shot of winning. At least now Yuumi has spell shield, so she protects whichever unit she's on. Yeah, even if the opponent gets rid of one unit's on another. So that unit's protected. Then I can do this. I'll gladly trade my Yuumi in. Because the opponent's going to die here. Also my unit's going to come back thanks to the Deathless. Oh, that was actually closer than I expected. Didn't really anticipate that. I thought it would be... the last encounter would be a breeze and the two encounters before that would be the ones that were actually hard. I guess I got it backwards. It was fun nonetheless. So yeah, that will be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Till then.